The cardinal utility analysis is based on explicit assumptions that utility obtained from the consumptions of the goods and services can be measured in cardinal number. The Marshall has used the amount of money that one is ready to pay for the goods and services as measure of utility from that goods or services. So the amount that the individual is ready to pay for the goods and services is the cardinal measurement of the utility. It can be measured in cardinal numbers. Definition of cardinal utility. What is cardinal utility? The cardinal utility theory provides a numerical way to quantify the satisfaction level. The quantity of the satisfaction level is measured in terms of utils. That means the consumer, by consuming a certain number of goods and services, obtains certain utils of utility. Which is measured as a cardinal utility, which is used as a basis for the measurement of the utility that the consumer obtain from the consumptions of the goods and services. That is measured in utils. It is the amount of money that one is ready to pay for the goods and services. So what are the major assumptions of the cardinal utility? It uses the concept of diminishing marginal utility. That means when the consumer consumes more and more unit of commodity, the utility obtained from such goods goes on diminishes. And it assumes that the marginal utility of money is constant. That means the value of significance, for example, the value of significance of rupees 1 remains constant for everyone, everywhere and every time. That is, the marginal utility of money is constant. And it assumes that utility is additive. That means the utility obtained from the consumptions of the goods and services can be added. That means the total utility can be calculated by adding the utility obtained from the consumption of 1 goods, 2 goods, 3 goods, and in this way utility of n number of goods. That means total utility can be obtained from adding the utility obtained from the consumptions of certain number of goods. And it assumes that the consumer is rational and always try to maximize the satisfaction. So it uses the two law, basically Gaussian first law and Gaussian second law. And what is the Gaussian's first law? The Gaussian's first law is associated with law of diminishing marginal utility. And according to Marshall, the additional utility which a person derives from the given increase in his stock diminishes with every increase in his stock. It means the utility obtained from the successive or additional unit of commodity diminishes as more and more unit of commodity consumes, which implies that total utility increases at decreasing rate, reaches to the maximum and goes on decline. It means when the total utility increases at decreasing rate, it implies that marginal utility is decreasing, and when the total utility is maximum, the marginal utility is becomes zero, and when the total utility goes on decreasing, the marginal utility becomes negative, which can be calculated as total utility of n minus total utility of previous goods. That is, it is the additive utility. It means it is the addition in the utility when additional commodity is consumed. It is the equilibrium under the cardinal utility analysis under the Gaussian first law, that is law of diminishing marginal utility. When the consumer consume more and more unit of commodity, the total utility increases at decreasing rate, reaches to the maximum and decline. When the utility is maximum, the marginal utility becomes 0, and we can also derive the demand curve through the use of the marginal utility. It means when the price is when the price is decreasing from P1 to P2 and P3, the consumer consumes more and more unit of commodity, x1, x2, x3, thereby giving the inverse demand curve. And the second law is a law of equimarginal utility. According to the law of equimarginal utility, the consumer consumes, that means the consumer consumes the goods and services in such a way that the utility derived from the last rupee spent on each good is equal. In other words, a consumer will be in equilibrium when the marginal utility of money is equal to the marginal utility of goods divided by the price. That means the marginal utility of money is in the consumer equilibrium. In order to be the consumer in equilibrium, the marginal utility of money should be equal to the marginal utility of certain commodity divided by the price. That is, marginal utility of money should be equal to the marginal utility of x divided by px, or marginal utility of y divided by py. In under one commodity case, when the marginal utility is greater than marginal utility of money, the consumer consumes more and more unit of goods and reaches to the consumer equilibrium. And when the marginal utility of certain commodity is less than the marginal utility of money, consumer declines the consumptions and ultimately reach to the level of satisfaction. In two commodity case, the same thing happens, but when the consumer have the more marginal utility of x divided by the price, then the marginal utility of money, consumer bear the losses on the on the utility, so he declines the he increase the consumption and reach to the equilibrium. In the same way, if the marginal utility of certain commodity divided by price is less than marginal utility of money, it gives the gain. So it gives the gain, and consumer declines the consumptions and reaches to the equilibrium, that is at the point E. So at the consumer equilibrium, always marginal utility of x divided by the price is equal to the marginal utility of money. So what is the limitations of cardinal utility? So cardinal measurement of, there is cardinal measurement of the utility. That means the utility can be measured in cardinal number is purely a subjective, making numerical representation is arbitrary. It means the utility cannot be measured in quantitative terms. And the hypothesis of independent utility, the cardinal utility assumes that there is the independent utility. It means the utility obtained from the consumption of the goods and services is independent to the another goods. In the real scenario, it is dependent to the availability of other goods. So it is one of the limitation of cardinal utility, and it assumes that there is a constant marginal utility of money. In real life, when the money income left with the person declines, the marginal utility of money increases. It means when the person have less and less amount of money, the utility for having the money goes on increasing, and it ignores the Giffen paradox. It means it ignores the context of Giffen goods, where there is positive relationship between the demand and price, and it also ignores the substitution effect, which may have due to the consumptions of the another goods. So these are the limitations of the cardinal utility. And another is ordinal utility analysis. It was developed by the Hicks and Allen. So it also called Hicks-Allen approach. And ordinal utility states that the consumer can rank the utility in order, right? This approach argues that the utility or satisfaction derived from the consumptions of the goods and services cannot be quantified, but we can rank in order. That means in when we rank the goods and services, we can say that the utility derived from the consumptions of x goods is greater than y, or x is less than y, or utility of x is equals to utility of y. And followings are the assumptions of ordinal utility analysis. It assumes that consumer is rational and there is diminishing marginal rate of substitution. That means the rate at which the commodity is substituted for another goes on declining when the consumer consumes more and more unit of goods. It means there is diminishing marginal rate of substitution, and consumer is consistent over the choice of the goods and services. It means when the consumer prefer A over B, he cannot prefer B over A, and there is a transitivity. It means when consumer prefer A over B and B over C, he definitely chooses A over C. And there is ordinal measurement of utility. It means the utility derived from the consumptions of the goods and services can be ranked in order. The indifference curve analysis and budget line. Ordinal utility analysis can be studied with the help of IC curve and budget line, where IC curve is the locus of combination of two goods that provides the consumer the same level of satisfaction. It means at every point of indifference curve, the consumer is indifferent in utility. It means every point of indifference curve gives the same amount of utility to the consumer. However, the marginal rate of substitution goes on decreasing when the consumer consumes more and more unit of goods. It means the consumer have to, in order to increase additional unit of X, the consumer have to lose additional unit of Y. The intensity of having the one goods when the consumer increases, another goods goes on decreasing, which is explained by the marginal rate of substitution. And the ordinal utility analysis can be explained with the help of budget line, where the budget line shows the various combination of the two commodities that the consumer can afford at the given market price with particular level of the income. That means the consumer budget constraint is given as price of X into quantity of X plus price of Y into quantity of Y is equals budget, that the consumer budget. And the slope of IC curve is a marginal rate of substitution, which is the change in quantity Y divided by change in quantity X. It slopes downwards, therefore it is negative. Marginal utility of X divided by marginal utility of Y, it is the slope of indifference curve. So consumer equilibrium is the situation under which the consumer attains the maximum level of satisfaction at the given level of budget line. In IC1, there is no maximum level of satisfaction, and at IC2 there is maximum level of satisfaction with the given level of budget line, and at IC3 it is beyond the budget line, so it is not the equilibrium. So E is the equilibrium where there are two conditions are satisfied. Condition 1 is that the IC curve must be tangent to the budget line, and at the point of tangency it must be convex to the origin, which satisfies both conditions. So E is the point of equilibrium where the consumer is consuming OX asterisk quantity of X goods and OY quantity of Y goods. So it